Hello, welcome to a brand new week here on Countdown. Countdown, the quiz game that some people are saying is to entertainment what Dracula was to the blood transfusion service. Anyway, here at the start of a brand new week, we have a brand new champion. Welcome, Andrew Bruno. Andrew is from Manchester. He's a sales executive. He's 27 years of age. He's a keen photographer. So Andrew there is in the champion's chair. And a new man who's going to try and knock him off. He's Joseph Collar. Joseph, or Joe we're going to call him tonight, well, it's neck or nothing for him this evening. He's from Blackfield in Southampton. He's aged 37 and he's married. Now, as a boy, he tells us he wanted to be a train driver, but now he's a registered chartered accountant, but he's got a fine interest in traction engines. And on my left, a man whose oratory has been compared to Burton's, and indeed Hepworth's, John Collier, and CNA as well. Kenneth Williams.
John Collier and CNA is advertising. It's CNA's coats and hats, it means, doesn't it? And sitting beside me is a graduate of Leeds University and a Master of Literature, so we are going to watch for any wrong words that come up from the contestants. We are here to judge whether the words are current usage and in our dictionary. And our word on the matter, I'm afraid, will be final.
OK, you heard what the man said. Joe, you won the toss. You go first, please.
Continent.
And you have an R.
Consonant.
H.
Vowel.
E.
Consonant.
Z.
Consonant.
G.
Vowel.
I.
Consonant.
X.
Consonant.
R.
Vowel.
And O.
What a jolly little lot we've got there. Let's see what they managed to do in 30 seconds, which start now. Well, Joe, how many did you get in your word?
5.
You got 5, and Andrew?
4.
You got 4, so let's hear yours, Joe.
Gorge. G-O-R-G-E.
G-O-R-G-E.
Which has got 2 G's in it.
It certainly has, yes. We only have 1 G there, so bad luck. We have to disqualify you. No points. Andrew, let's say your 4 one.
My word was higher. H-I-R-E.
H-I-R-E. 4. Kenneth, did you get anything?
I did a very imaginative thing, I think. I used 0, a point from which all reckoning begins. Very good, isn't it?
Yes.
Not a long word, but not bad.
It's not bad. It would have got you 4 points had you been playing, and Joseph, it would have got you 4 points. Instead, you got 0. Never mind. Round 2. Andrew, kick off, please.
Vowel.
And you have a U.
2 consonants.
H. And L.
2 vowels.
I and E.
And 4 consonants.
T. G. Y. And S.
Well, Andrew's really working in double time here, but the clock also will, because 30 seconds goes round ever so fast, as you'll see. Right, Andrew, how many letters?
6.
6.
6.
Both on 6. Let's hear them both. Andrew.
Guilty.
Guilty. G-U-I-L-T-Y, yes.
Lights.
Lights.
L-I-G-H-T-S.
L-I-G-H-T-S. Well, there's no dispute about that, but I just wondered if you got anything else, Kenneth.
Well, yes, I had guilt. I had guilty down on my paper, and I looked it up, and I see that guilt was originally, it's Old English, and it means the payment of a fine for an offence. That's its original meaning. Gives you some idea of how corrupted it's become over the years, doesn't it?
Yes.
Brighton, I mean, Bright Helmstone is how it begins, and over the years people have dropped the Helmstone and they don't bother with it at all, they just say Brighton.
Brighton, the town of Brighton.
That's right. All the corruptions that take place over the years, like God be with you, you know, and everyone's done, you know, just dropped it all and just say goodbye, goodbye. But it was God be with you. And that's how it's come today. Goodbye.
Right, not goodbye yet, because we're only on round 3, and it's Joe to begin.
Continent.
And you have an M.
Consonant.
D.
Vowel.
A.
Consonant.
P.
Consonant.
F.
Vowel.
I.
Vowel.
E.
Consonant.
S.
Consonant.
And L.
And the countdown starts now. Right, time's up. Joe.
6.
6, Andrew.
7.
7. Let's hear yours 7, Andrew.
Sampled.
Sampled, yes. S-A-M-P-L-E-D. Good. Well, that's 7. That's 17 to you now. We'll just say yours a matter of interest, Joe. What did you get?
Fields.
Fields. And Kenneth, what did you get?
All I got was flies. I'm always thinking of that because of the stage. You know, we lower the back cloth from the flies. And I was lowered myself from the flies in Peter Pan when I had to wear that terrible harness. And so I always think of it. So I got that. But it's not as good as theirs, I'm afraid. Nowhere near as good.
OK, and that now puts Andrew on 17. And Joseph, you are on 6. Now we come to the maths bit of countdown. I'm sure you all know the rules of this bit. Andrew, will you choose your numbers, please?
1 from the top line, 2 from the second, and 3 from the third.
So he's picked 6 numbers, which Beverly is putting them up on the board. On the top row, there are 25, 50, 75, and 100. On the other rows, 1 to 10. So we have 25, 8, 4, 1, 7, and 6. And we spin our number indicator, which we call Cecil. And Cecil says 902. And they have to achieve that target, starting now, in 30 seconds. So 902, and just a reminder, you use all or any of those numbers and you can't use the same one twice. So we had to get 902. Andrew, what did you get?
901.
You got 901. And what did you get, Joe?
843.
843. So the old accountant's just a bit out there. 901, let's check that off.
Right, 4 times 25.
4 times 25 equals 100.
And another line, 8 plus 1.
8 plus 1 equals 9.
9 times 100.
900.
Plus 7.
Plus 7
And minus 6.
minus 6. 901. That's just 1 out.
OK, well, that's our vital statistician, Dr. Linda Barrett. Could you have got any nearer, Linda?
No, I'm afraid not. That's just the way I did it. I was 1 out this time as well.
Yes, OK. Well, Linda, of course, like everybody else in the studio, and hopefully you at home if you're playing and not cheating, Linda only has 30 seconds herself. Doubtless she could have done it if she'd had an hour and a half, but she did it in 30 seconds, the same as Andrew. And that gives you 7 points, Andrew, which brings your total, as we approach the halfway mark, to 24 points. And Joe, you're still on 6, but we're only at the halfway mark, aren't we, Kenneth Williams?
Yes, I'm afraid all those numbers made me think of plural, and plural is something we often get wrong in England. People say the government are not doing enough instead of the government is not doing enough, and there's quite an interesting chapter on that in Professor Gower's book, The Plain Words, it's called, and he says, admittedly, Ophelia in Hamlet says, there is pansies, but we must remember she wasn't herself at the time. Of course, since it's the mad scene, it does make sense, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know if it does make sense. We'll try and work it out, and while we do try and work it out, we'll take a break. We'll see you, we hope, in part 2. And welcome back to part 2 of Countdown. Now, you might be interested to know that since we've been on the air, Countdown has really upset the ratings, and the petty officers aren't too pleased either. Anyway, you join us in part 2 with Joseph Collar, the challenger here on 6, and Andrew Bruno, our current reigning champion, on 24. Andrew, your turn to go.
I'll have 3 consonants, please.
You have S, C, and B.
3 vowels.
A, I, and E.
And 3 consonants.
T, D, and N.
Andrew, man doing things in 3s. Let's hope he gets more than 3 points. Let's see what's happened as we start the clock. And that is time. Andrew.
6.
6, and Joe.
6.
Both 6, so let's hear them both. Let's hear yours, Andrew.
Basted. B-A-S-T-E-D.
Yes, as in the Sunday joint.
That's right.
Basted. And Joe?
Same word.
You got basted as well. OK. Both got 6. I suspect, Kenneth Williams, you did better than that, because I can see a gleam in your eye.
Yes, cabinets.
Oh.
Which is, let me see, it's 8, isn't it?
Yes.
8, awfully good word, cabinets. Immediately you think of loads of things, don't you? I mean, chairs where you secrete something. And, of course, the cabinet in Parliament, or the Prime Minister's cabinet. Oh, marvellous word, isn't it, cabinet?
Yes.
And cabinet pudding. Dickens was always serving cabinet pudding. Mrs. Dickens was serving it. She loved it. In fact, Hans Andersen said when he visited Dickens, he was sick of all the pudding. His belly apparently was so protuberant, he felt he needed a health farm afterwards.
OK, well, thank you very much indeed. A little dissertation on cabinets, which is an 8-letter word. Just to tell you that if they'd got a 9-letter word, and we haven't had a 9-letter word yet so far in this series, the contestant gets a bonus point, so they get 10 points. But we haven't yet had a 9-letter word. But who knows, we might do next time. As Joe, you begin.
Vowel.
And you have U,
Vowel.
E,
Consonant.
N,
Consonant.
F,
Consonant.
N,
Vowel.
O,
Consonant.
D,
Consonant.
M,
Vowel.
M-A.
All right, so those are the 9 letters, and we have 30 seconds on the clock, and they're starting now. Well, I suspect that one is not so very easy. Joe?
6.
You got 6, good. Andrew?
7.
You got 7. Let's see what the maestro says.
My
Andrew?
word is mundane.
Mundane. Just spell it out so we all know what it is.
M-U-N-D-A-N-E.
Yes, well, there's nothing mundane about that. That's excellent, and that's 7 points for you straight away. Just wondering what you got, Joe, as a matter of interest.
Fanned.
You got fanned. OK, And Kenneth, anything there?
Fondue, yes, to melt from the French, to melt, fondue. You know, you can do it fondue with cheese. Sounds awfully good, fondue.
That's like
Lovely
you
word.
sticking forks into the thing. don't
That's
you?
right, yes. You've done it?
Very pardon?
You've done it yourself?
Yes, occasionally, yes.
Charming.
In quiet moments. Joe, you're on 12 points, I'm afraid, no points. And Andrew Bruno, 37. Goodness gracious, leaping ahead here. Andrew, will you now go first?
I have 2 vowels,
And you have E and O.
3 consonants,
B, T, and D.
2 more vowels,
E and U.
and a consonant.
J, and you have
And
one.
another consonant.
JP.
JP, and there's Andrew's 9 letters, and off we go with the clock. Right, that is time. Andrew.
5 for me.
5.
5.
And both on 5, so let's hear Andrew's.
Mine is debut.
D-E-B-U-T. That? D-E-B-U-T, yes?
This is correct, that's correct, absolutely correct.
Absolutely correct, OK.
Yes, the initial, the premiere performance, isn't it?
Yes.
The debut.
Yes, what's the best way of pronouncing it, Kenneth?
Well, I mean, it's difficult, you see, because Fowler says always anglicised. Do not attempt to do garage or cul-de-sac. Say cul-de-sac and say garage. So we should say debut. But it sounds so clumsy that most of us say debut. Most of us.
Right,
It's like
okay.
valet. Valet's correct. You should say valet, but everyone does do this. He's my valet. Valet. It sounds like something between yeah, how green was my valet? Yes, you could say, couldn't you?
Well, you could say that, but I'll ask now, Andrew. You've been left out of this little discussion here. What is your word? You've got a 5-letter word.
Doubt.
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 Very good indeed, yes. And it's from the Latin doubt, you see, moving in 2 directions, dubitare. You see, moving in 2 directions, so there's no certainty about the matter. But we're certain about this, aren't we?
We certainly are, there's no doubt about that. Joseph, 17, Andrew, 42, as we move into the penultimate round, and this is again numbers, and Joe, will you begin this, please?
1 from the top. 2 from the next. 2 from the next. And 1 from the bottom.
Young Beverly there with the numbers 2, 6, 4, 10, 4, and 25. Now then, what will we get from Cecil this time? 470. 30 seconds, starting now. And that's time, and we had to get 470 in just 30 seconds, using all or any of those numbers, but not the same one twice. Joe, how did you get on?
462.
462, that's within 8. Andrew?
I got 462.
You both got 460. We'll have to go through them both now, quite quickly. Joe?
10 plus 4
10 plus 4
plus 4
plus another 4
equals 18
equals 18
times 25
times the 25
equals 450.
450
6 times 2 equals 12.
equals 12.
450 plus 12, 462.
Add them together to give 462, which is...
Was that your method, Andrew?
No.
We'll check yours then.
I had 4 times 25.
4 times 25 equals 100.
And times 4 again.
Times times 4 to give 400.
6 times 10 separately.
6 times 10 equals 60,
And then adding another 2 to the 400 and the 60.
plus the remaining 2, 4, 6, 2. Yes, that's also correct.
Well, both correct there. So that, as you were both correct, but you were both 8 away, in fact, we give you 5 points each. So that puts you on to 22 and 47. As we now move into our final round, which is our conundrum. This is when we take a word and jumble it all up, and then the person who unjumbles it in the quicker time gets 10 points. So if we're ready, hands on buzzers and bells, the countdown starts now. Andrew's buzzed.
Kangaroos.
Kangaroos. Let's reveal it and see. There it is.
Kangaroos.
Yes, we... Yes, well, we thought that one would really jump out at you. Is that you don't bother working it out, do you? You just look at it and wait for something, as it were, to emerge.
I think so, yeah.
Were you near to getting that, Joe?
Not really, no.
OK, well, Joe, I'm very sorry to say you've come all the way from Southampton for 22 points. Thank you very much for coming. Not returning, of course, empty-handed. Yorkshire hospitality being what it is. If you manage to take this countdown in a box back with you, we should be very happy. So thank you very much indeed for coming, Joe. And Andrew, we'll see you again tomorrow. Good? You can come back tomorrow?
I can, yes.
OK. Kenneth, let's say goodbye
Well,
to
I
you.
think it's very interesting, Richard, because, you know, that word kangaroo, does that strike any responsive chord in you? It should do, because Cook, you know, when he landed in Australia, said, he asked one of the natives there, what is this marsupial? And this native said, in Aborigine dialect, kangaroo, which is I don't know, and ever since, the thing's been called I don't know, you see. And that's very interesting, because the ignorance has led to the coinage. And the ignorance is what Shaw always said about ignorance. There's only one thing to do about ignorance, enlighten it. And he used to get very angry about misusage. In fact, the cafe musicians angered him so much that when the maestro said, what would you like them to play? He said, dominoes.
Okay, just time to say we've got a letter here from Mr. Li Fu Young, a Chinese restaurateur from Soho, and he complains of a mistake in the numbers game. Mr. Young says that in one of last week's programmes, our vital statistician added 25 and 18 and got 43. Now, he says he added 25 to 18 and got a chicken chop suey with sweet and sour king prawns. However, he's now so keen on mathematics, he's going to call his new establishment the Peking Minus. It is, of course, a Chinese takeaway. That's it. We'll see you all again tomorrow with our champion, Mr. Andrew Bruno. From all of us here, bye for now.